My parents asked me to do this for my pregnant sister, but I refused. Now they are kicking me out of the house because I was not ready to ruin my life for her. I 22F never thought I'd be in this position, sitting on my bed, surrounded by half-packed boxes, trying to figure out where I'm going to live, all because I refused to do something that would have completely derailed my life. It started 2 months ago when my sister 25F announced she was pregnant. Our parents were ecstatic about their first grandchild, but as the weeks went by, it became clear that my sister's situation wasn't ideal. The father wasn't in the picture. She'd recently lost her job, and she was struggling with morning sickness that left her bedridden most days. I tried to be supportive. I'd bring her ginger tea, pick up groceries, even took over some of her chores around the house. But apparently, that wasn't enough. Last week, my parents sat me down for what they called a family meeting. I should have known something was off by the way they kept exchanging glances. "We've been thinking," my mom began, her voice overly cheerful. "Your sister is going to need a lot of help with the baby." I nodded, wondering where this was going. "Yeah, of course. I already told her I'd babysit sometimes." My dad cleared his throat. "We were thinking of something more substantial." That's when they dropped the bomb. They wanted me to defer my acceptance to graduate school, a program I'd worked my ass off to get into, and stay home full-time to help with the baby. Not just for a few months, but for at least 2 years. I felt like I'd been punched in the gut. "You can't be serious," I said, looking between them. "I've been working towards this for years. You know how competitive it is. Family comes first," my mom said firmly. "Your sister needs you." I couldn't believe what I was hearing. "And what about what I need? What about my future?" "You can always go back to school later," my dad reasoned. "This is a crucial time for your sister and the baby." I stood up, my hands shaking. "No, absolutely not. I'm sorry, but I won't put my entire life on hold like that." The argument that followed was ugly. Words were said that can't be taken back. My parents accused me of being selfish, of not caring about family. I shot back that they were being unfair, that they'd never ask my sister to make such a huge sacrifice for me. In the end, my dad delivered the ultimatum. Either I agreed to their plan or I need to move out. They weren't going to support me if I wasn't willing to support my sister. So here I am, packing up my childhood bedroom, trying to figure out where I'm going to go. I've reached out to a few friends, seeing if anyone has a couch I can crash on until I figure something out. The grad school program starts in 2 months, and I'm determined to be there, even if I have to work 3 jobs to make it happen. Part of me feels guilty. I love my sister, and I know she's in a tough spot. But is it really fair to expect me to give up my dreams for her mistake? Am I really being selfish for wanting to pursue the future I've worked so hard for? I tried talking to my sister about it, hoping she'd see reason and talk to our parents. But she just burst into tears, saying she didn't know how she was going to manage without me. It made me feel awful, but it also strengthened my resolve. I can't be responsible for her choices. As I fold another shirt and place it in a box, my phone buzzes. It's a message from my best friend. "My roommate just moved out. The place is yours if you want it." I feel a surge of relief, quickly followed by a wave of sadness. This isn't how I imagined leaving home. Not with angry words echoing in my ears and a family fracture that feels impossible to heal. I shoot back a quick, "Yes, thank you," to my friend before resuming my packing. With each item I put away, I try to remind myself that I'm doing the right thing. That it's okay to prioritize my own future, even if my family doesn't see it that way right now. The next few days are a whirlwind. I move my things into my friend's apartment, grateful for her support, but feeling like a refugee in my own life. My parents don't call, don't text. The silence is deafening. I throw myself into preparations for grad school, determined to make the most of this opportunity I fought so hard to keep. But in quiet moments, doubt creeps in. Am I making a huge mistake? Will I regret this decision years down the line? A week after moving out, I get a tearful call from my sister. She's having a hard day, missing me, scared about the future. I listen, offer what comfort I can, but stand firm in my decision. When she asks if I'll reconsider, I gently but firmly say no. "I love you," I tell her, "and I'll always be here for you, but I can't give up my life for this. It's not fair to ask that of me." There's a long pause before she responds. "I know," she finally says, her voice small. "I'm sorry, I'm so scared." We talk for a while longer, really talk in a way we haven't in years. About her fears, about my dreams, about the pressure our parents have always put on us. By the end of the call, I feel like we understand each other better, even if we still don't agree on everything. As the weeks pass, I settle into my new routine. My friend's apartment becomes home, grad school preparations keep me busy, and I pick up a part-time job to help make ends meet. It's not easy, but every day I feel more confident in my decision. My parents' silence continues, broken only by the occasional terse text about picking up mail or dropping off forgotten items. It hurts, but I refuse to let it break me. I channel that pain into my work, into building a life that's truly mine. About a month before grad school starts, I get an unexpected visitor. My sister, looking tired but determined, shows up at my door. "Can we talk?" she asks. We end up at a nearby park, sitting on a bench watching kids play on the swings. For a while, neither of us speaks. "I'm sorry," she finally says, "for putting you in that position, for not standing up to Mom and Dad." I feel a lump form in my throat. "Thank you," I manage to say. She turns to look at me, her eyes shining with unshed tears. "I was so scared, so overwhelmed. I thought if I had you there, everything would be okay. But that wasn't fair to you. We talk for hours, really talk. About our childhoods, about the expectations placed on us, about our fears and hopes for the future. By the end, I feel like I've gotten my sister back. I'm going to talk to Mom and Dad," she says as we're saying goodbye. "They were wrong to try to force you into this. You deserve to live your life." I hug her tight, feeling a mix of gratitude and cautious hope. "Thank you," I whisper. True to her word, my sister does talk to our parents. It doesn't magically fix everything. There are still tense conversations and awkward family dinners. But slowly, things start to improve. My mom calls one evening, her voice hesitant. "We may have overreacted," she says, which is as close to an apology as I'm likely to get. "We were just worried about your sister." "I know," I reply. "But you have to trust that you raised us both to be strong, capable women. We can support each other without sacrificing our own lives." There's a long pause before she responds. "You're right. I'm proud of you for standing up for yourself. It's not perfect, but it's a start." As I pack up for grad school, I reflect on the past few months. It's been a roller coaster of emotions, a test of my convictions, and a crash course in setting boundaries. But I don't regret my decision for a second. My sister's doing better now. She's found a support group for single mothers, started taking online classes, and is slowly putting her life back together. We talk almost every day, our bond stronger now than it's been in years. My parents are coming around, albeit slowly. They've stopped pushing me to give up my dreams and have even offered to help with moving expenses for grad school. It's a small gesture, but it means the world to me. As I close the last box and look around my now empty room, I feel a sense of pride and accomplishment. I stood my ground, fought for my future, and somehow managed to come out the other side with my relationships intact, maybe even stronger than before. I know the road ahead won't be easy. Grad school will be challenging, and balancing my studies with family obligations will take work. But I'm ready for it. I've learned that it's possible to love and support your family, while still prioritizing your own needs and dreams. In the end, I realized that by refusing to sacrifice my future, I wasn't just standing up for myself, I was setting an example. For my sister, for my future niece or nephew, and for anyone else who's ever felt pressured to give up their dreams for someone else's expectations. As I load the last of my boxes into the car, I take one last look at my childhood home. It's bittersweet, leaving like this, but I'm not really leaving anything behind. I'm carrying the love, the lessons, and the strength I've gained with me into this new chapter of my life. And who knows, maybe someday I'll be able to help my sister and her child in ways that don't require giving up my own aspirations. 'Cause that's what family really means, supporting each other to be the best versions of ourselves, not asking each other to dim our light so someone else can shine. With a deep breath and a smile, I start the car. It's time to write the next chapter of my story, on my own terms,